My name is Catherine Zerngable, and I serve as the program coordinator, excuse me, for the National Association of Catholic Social Action and Mission. It is a small national Catholic organization that supports individuals like Josh and Kat who work in diocesan offices, promoting Catholic social teaching. My day job, however, is I am the pastoral associate of Lumen Christi Parish, which is a suburban parish in Mequon, Wisconsin, which is located about 15 minutes north of the city of Milwaukee in Wisconsin, within the larger Archdiocese of Milwaukee. And really, for my time today, which I'm going to start a stopwatch. So, in the next 6 or 7 minutes, I'm going to do just a brief overview of how our parish has really tried to implement Laudato Si and care for creation. And the three key points that I'd love for each of you to take away from my time is an emphasis on Catholic identity, an overview of most parish structures, and then persistence. So, our parish, I'm just going to give a couple of stories here in the next few minutes about how we've really tried to implement Laudato Si in our corner of southeastern Wisconsin. And it really began about 4 years ago. Like many of you have probably experienced this in your parish or diocese. I had one or two people come up to me and ask me, what are we doing about the Pope's encyclical? And in that moment, I said, what would you like to do about implementing Laudato Si in the parish? And that sparked a larger conversation between two very invested and caring individuals, one of whom served on my parish Human Concerns Commission, of which I serve as the pastor, or I serve as the staff liaison, excuse me. And really, it snowballed into a 2-hour conversation about their love for the natural environment around the parish, as well as a care for the poor also within our larger parish demographics or parish geographical area and in our Ozaukee County. If any of you are from Milwaukee or from the Archdiocese, southeastern Wisconsin, you know Ozaukee County is one of the more affluent counties in the state. The greater Mequon-Thiensville area is a suburban area, also an affluent area. But as we all know, that there are individuals who are struggling in our community, and how can we connect and see the interconnectedness of care for the poor as well as care for the environment in our own parish backyard? And beautifully, Pope Francis wrote about that within Laudato Si. So really, that was the driving force behind the work that we wanted to do and hoped to accomplish in our brainstorming of what we wanted to do in the next several years. But like many of you have probably also encountered, there were a lot of skeptics and doubts of why we wanted to pick this topic. Why did we want to look at caring for creation? Lots of conversations and hesitations around climate change, the science behind it. And while I don't want to get too far into the weeds, I did need to and want to name that was a challenge early on. And all of that then was really important for us in terms of why we are doing what we are doing. The Catholic identity is critical and is the underpinning of every single thing, every single project, every single program and effort that we do. While I'm not going to spend too much time on that because time is short, I did want to emphasize that everything that we do is rooted in scripture and tradition. All of our promotion, everything from just a short bulletin blurb to a flyer has a quote from Laudato Si, has a short quote from scripture, has a short quote from any one of the papal documents that talk about this, to really identify that the work that we are doing is from our faith, and that is the starting point, no questions about it. So just to give a quick snapshot of our parish, like I mentioned, is in the greater Mequon-Thiensville area, just north of the city of Milwaukee. We have registered just under 2,400 families, which equates to about 61 6,100 individuals. We do have a school that has enrollment of 365 students, as well as a strong Catholic formation program with just over 800 children. So when I say that on an average weekend, we have thousands of people rolling through the parish grounds, that's not an exaggeration. We typically see anywhere from all of the Catholic formation students in the evenings. We also run our high school program runs in the evenings on Sundays, but all of the youth and middle school programming takes place in between our 9 a.m. and our 11 a.m. Mass at the school building. So if you are at the 9 a.m. Mass on Sundays and there is a mass exodus, a blessing of all of the kids right before the final announcements, and there's this mass exodus of children, they're heading over to formation at our school building, which is absolutely beautiful and wonderful to see. But our parish, Lumen Christi, it's a merged parish that was originally started between St. Cecilia Parish, located in Thiensville, that was established in the early 1900s, and then St. James Parish in Mequon was established in the mid 1800s. The schools, actually, there were two schools associated to those parishes, and they were merged in the mid 1980s, but the parishes itself didn't merge until 2005. So when I say that it has been years in the making to get these two communities to come together, also not an exaggeration. Many people, if you ask them now where, where they from, they'll typically answer like, "Oh, I'm originally from St. Cecilia's," or "I'm originally from St. James." So it was really important for our community when we were coming together to anchor ourselves as one family, one community, which is a reflection of our parish vision, which is one family sharing the love and light of Christ. Now, this is not the most exciting slide in the world, but it's really important with my time remaining to highlight an org chart because I love org charts. And if you notice, I am the pastoral associate. I'm located on the end, and I oversee this is a very basic version, oversee a couple other areas, but communications and human concerns, which are pertinent to our conversation today. And underneath human concerns is the Care for Creation subcommittee. And I wanted to highlight this because it shows that each person, pastoral associate, director of liturgy and music, all the way down the line, those are individuals that are on staff at the parish. And for me, those are my go-to individuals when I need to collaborate, when I need to work together on a project. I know I need to have a conversation with every single one of those people before I talk to my associate pastor and before I talk to my pastor, who is my supervisor. But from the org chart, you can also see that natural silos occur. And it's really easy for each of us to stay in our lane and stay focused on what we're responsible for, but it then also doesn't lend itself to strong communication. So in the last minute I have here, I just wanted to highlight a couple of examples within our larger Care for Creation subcommittee. Over the years, we had really highlighted that there were two key points that we wanted to always make sure that we included. We wanted to make sure that everything we did was local and tangible and right in our own backyard so that we could point to something right in the greater Mequon-Thiensville area, larger Ozaukee County. We also had a strong commitment that we wanted to engage our youth, which includes not only the Catholic formation students, but also all of the school families as well. But we wanted to make sure that we took a both-and approach. We know that we needed to take a look at the fact that we had limited resources from our own Care for Creation subcommittee. All of my volunteers, of which are about a dozen individuals that meet monthly, are engaged in a lot of other aspects as well. So how could we bridge the gap to engage our youth in something local and tangible? One of the things that we did was we had a back field called the Northland, and it really wasn't developed. Over the last year and a half, we wanted to develop that land to create a prayer garden, some wildflower gardens. We want to have outdoor stations of the cross as well as a prayer labyrinth, all of which is a 5-year goal to build up to and incorporate into the land. We knew then that it was critical that we needed to get our buildings and grounds on board with that. So I started a conversation with our director of administrative services who oversees buildings and grounds. And we pulled together a small team from that area to say, how can we make this happen? Well, how can we engage our youth was we decided to have an art contest and a naming contest of that. So with that, we needed to have a one-on-one and engage our director of Catholic formation and the school kids. All of which I know I'm running out of time now, really reiterates that we needed to have multiple one-on-ones, and this was an ongoing conversation. And I know in my time, I'm not spending really any time on the Pilgrimages of Hope, but it's meant to say that all of this has been years in the making, and the Pilgrimages of Hope is one key aspect in the larger movement of implementing Laudato Si at our parish. Here we have, with the Pilgrimages of Hope, we have an event planned on the Feast of St. Francis, October 4th, that'll be taking place at the Catholic Ecology Center, which is about 30 minutes northwest of us. Within the larger Kettle Moraine State Forest. And then Concordia University, which it's a non-Catholic university, but we have a Newman Center there, and it's located right on Lake Michigan. And you'll see kind of this zigzag path. We're going to be offering 2 opportunities to have pilgrimages on October 4th. And the conversations needing to happen with the campus minister at Concordia, as well as our contact at the Catholic Ecology Center to bring individuals to those spaces, but then to also have what Amy talked about, those kind of next steps. Our goal and ultimately long range plan is to focus on building a middle school green team extracurricular program at our parish, all of which has been an uphill battle. This is my final point, just wanted to make. We really were hoping to launch this last year and completely did not happen. So I hope with the persistence of all of these little touch points throughout the year that we are able to build this in and launch this next year. All of this is meant to be able to connect those families who are engaging in the pilgrimages and some of these other larger efforts. This will not be the first time they're hearing about it. So I know that this is a lot of information, but please do not hesitate to contact me about how we're trying to implement Laudato Si at our small parish within southeastern Wisconsin. And like I said, if you want to take away the 3 key points, it is, again, root everything in Catholic identity, have a greater understanding of the parish structure and who you need to be making contact with, and then persistence. Not every one of these ideas are going to be a home run. Actually, many of the times we're going to strike out, but how do you learn from those and keep on keeping on?